It's known as the Brugada syndrome, a phenomenon where rapid and chaotic heart rhythms lead to sudden cardiac death. Scientists are seeking to develop the ultimate cure for this random silent killer.
And so this is mark 1, and here we have the other mark.
Professor Bonduelle and her team want to prevent the disease from ever reaching the next generation. During in vitro fertilization, an individual sperm is taken and injected directly into an egg. As the egg starts to divide, it will be ready for genetic analysis by doctors in a couple of days.
When people are confronted with the Brugada syndrome, they realize that it affects really their whole life. And when they think of having children, they don't want to have this pressure, and they want to prevent it for their children.
In a technically challenging procedure, the embryologist removes cells from the embryo unharmed, where they will be screened for genetic disorders. After identifying any breaks in the genetic code, only the unaffected embryos are implanted back into the mother's womb.
And then we need to watch those.
When you're involved with pre-implantation genetic diagnosis, you see often very severe situations where people have suffered already from having a disease or from having had a child with disease, and you can offer some hope. And then when it works out, when you see the couple back afterwards, you see a completely different situation, because they have gone through a difficult period, but at the end they end always up with a healthy child when they have a child. And they are so happy then that they made the effort and that they went through it. So it's nice to see them back.
For the DeVos family and others like them, the future is hopeful.
In our family they have found a gene, so they can look for it before you make a child.
Approximately 30% of the families we can find a genetic diagnosis. It means that we still have a lot of work to do on the genetic level to find more genes, more mutations which can be responsible for the Brugada syndrome.
And as the rest wait for a genetic explanation, the ICD still remains the best treatment for Brugada syndrome patients, despite its problems and inconveniences.
We had to make some arrangement in the bed. My wife has to sleep on the right side of the bed, so she don't have to lie with her head on the machine. But it's a lifesaver, so it's my guardian angel.
As doctors are able to detect the disease faster and earlier, optimism of a cure is as strong as ever. In the meantime, families all over the world are simply learning to live with the Brugada syndrome.
It's necessary that people have to be informed that even when you are confronted with a disease like Brugada syndrome, you can live a life like anyone else. And the best example of it is Evelyn. You only have to take precautions of certain things, but for the rest, you can have a normal life. And I think that's something that people have to know.